I've been in real estate in Arizona for almost 20 years. Started investing in real estate in Mexico about 6 years ago. I'd always heard of Penasco, Rocky Point, but I'd never been there and had no idea it was so close. It was finally about 6-7 years ago, went down for the first time and realized it was a 3.5-hour drive and a weekend destination, and started buying condos the second time I ever visited there, and loved it ever since.
Rocky Point is exactly 212 miles from the rental car center at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix. You drive out Interstate 10 West and you get on 85 South and just drive straight south. You'll hit the border at Lukeville and then you'll drive another hour and it's on the ocean on the northern tip of the Sea of Cortez, right across the water from San Felipe. So it is the closest destination to Arizona on the Sea of Cortez.
The ease of access to the U.S. being the 3.5-hour drive, I load up everything in the truck or excursion and just drive down there and enjoy it, and I just thought this is going to be a boom town. The ocean's warm, it's beautiful. It's a spot where you can go down for a weekend with your wife or with friends, and then you can also go down and have some of the best time you've ever had with your kids, because you get to spend the entire weekend with them and playing with them and fishing and banana boats and et cetera, et cetera.
I knew living in Salt Lake City that I would only be able to go down there a handful of times throughout the year, so I wanted a vibrant rental market. And I learned that last year, in 2006, there were over 2 million unique visitors to Rocky Point from Arizona, and then another 1.2 million from Mexico. So what that means for me is my property is always rented when I'm not using it. So the cash flow is very strong. In addition to that, the Mexican taxes are very low. So there's low property taxes, low occupancy taxes, and that helps drive income for me.
I think one of the biggest reasons to invest in Penasco versus some of the other places, I mean, I've been to Cabo, I've been to Cancun, I've been to Acapulco, I've been to a lot of the other places. The proximity to the U.S. is huge, and there are places over on the Baja side that are still close to San Diego and those areas of California. But one of the other big reasons, as well as the proximity, is the fact that Puerto Penasco is the new town. It doesn't have a Tijuana with millions of people with a lot of the problems and the issues that you have with the town that size in Mexico, or even a lot of times in the U.S. It's just growing. It was an old fishing town, very simple town, and now it's growing into a resort and still a fishing town. Just the non-aspect of the crime and the problems that they have a lot over on the Texas border and a lot of those kind of places, you just absolutely don't have that. If you go to, obviously Cabo is beautiful, it's got fishing, it's got some other things to it, but you rarely get a flight for under $500 going down to Cabo. Prices are extremely steep. For a nice beachfront place you can pay $4 or $5 million just for the lot. Penasco is getting up there as far as its price, but it's obviously because a lot of people are desiring to be there.
It's so accessible, you don't necessarily need to rent a car. You can take your own vehicle across, and from a standpoint of a family vacation, that makes it so much easier logistically.
Yeah, a few tanks of gas and you're on the beach. The Mexican government after 9/11 was very concerned about their tourist industry because they felt that a lot of people wouldn't fly to Los Cabos and Cancun and Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan. And for that reason, they have been making tremendous investments in Rocky Point because it's a drive-to location. It is a very, very convenient location. On top of that, they will be opening an international airport, and we decided to invest down there in anticipation of that airport opening up. Then we'll be able to fly from Salt Lake in about the same time that it takes us to fly to Phoenix. Take maybe 15 minutes longer.
It's just a great weekend destination. And if there's an emergency, you literally get in your vehicle and you're back home in 4 hours.
A friend of mine had said, you need to go check out a place called Rocky Point, and I had never heard of it. Looked it up on the internet, decided next year to take my vacation and come down here, and I brought my motorhome down, parked on the beach down at Playa de Oro, and I was there for 2 months. In 3 weeks' time, I looked around and was aghast by what was going on as far as growth. I'd been looking for an opportunity to move to Mexico for many years. I used to go 3 or 4 times a year down to Cabo San Lucas and felt that I'd missed the bus. So when I came down here and looked around, I was just awe-stricken by the beauty and how it still was 20 years behind Cabo. There was a good opportunity here is what I saw.
My first experience in Rocky Point was I took my family down for a vacation, and it was so fun. And to me, creating family memories is one of the most important things you can do in life. You don't remember the day-to-day activities, but when you go and do something extra special with people that you love, you call back those memories when you gather together after the children are gone.
The tourists that come here, we have snowbirds that come to the trailer parks in the winter. We have the students that come at spring break or the big weekends. We have mostly families that come down, which is something we really like, just whole families. The parents and the children, and they each do their own thing when they're here. It's very family oriented, and I think what made it really successful is the ability of the families to be able to drive here, be able to afford it, because usually families won't fly a long distance, it's too expensive. And here the whole family can come for a tank and a half of gas, to get in and out and back. So it makes it really unique in that it's an overland destination close to a huge population center, and Phoenix is getting so big, so is Tucson, and they continue to grow, and they need these stress breakers on weekends, so they either go to the mountains or they come down here when they can. And so it's still a unique and really relaxing, wonderful, laid-back place to be.